Ready to kick your ass out of the world. Ready to kick your ass out of
The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad is one of the funniest movies ever made. Not only that, it's a quintessential comedy film.
Nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
And I think that it's unanimously loved among audiences. Very few of the successors were able to capture the same tone that they had with Airplane and Naked Gun, so it failed to elevate it above your classic Spy Hards or Repossessed. Now, taking everything into consideration, it came as a shock, it came as a surprise when a few months back there were rumblings on the internet about Liam Neeson-led Naked Gun Reboot. I think it was more of a confirmation, proof of concept than like an announcement of production or anything. Although it got the wheels churning, At first glance, I was not excited. I was a little bit bummed out. You know, it seemed like one of my favorite movies was getting the reboot remake treatment, which didn't seem necessary. And then I also get the concern that we are gonna have a Watchmen situation where the filmmakers have a decently faithful adaptation. It's just that they don't really understand the themes, like the subtext.
Mich Schweinstieren, mein Herr.
But my bitter feelings started to ferment, and then I got drunk. As the alcohol absorbed into my blood and the Naked Gun Reboot absorbed into my brain, I simmered on it, and I decided that it actually was a genuinely inspired casting decision.
The Queen of England ready to toss out the first ball.
Liam Neeson has got the juice for this. Leslie Nielsen, he was a classically trained dramatic actor. So when he debuted, he was a serious performer. He was not doing goofball, screwball comedies.
Well, it so happens that I'm in command of 18 competitively selected super perfect physical specimens with an average age of 24.6 who have been locked up in hyperspace for 378 days. It would have served you right if I hadn't, and he...
So a part of the charm of those movies that have Leslie Nielsen in them is the fact that he's completely dedicated and serious actor. All of the wacky things that go on around him, he doesn't act like they're wacky.
Who are you and how did you get in here?
I'm the locksmith. And I'm the locksmith.
It's funny how casually he treats these absurd situations.
Right out there, Frank. You want to take a dinghy? No, I took care of that at the press conference. Doesn't make sense, you know.
And then once you get into the examples of people not utilizing the performance properly, you have your wrongfully accused or Mr. Magoo's, and that just comes across as an elderly man making silly faces to the camera. Liam Neeson is also a classically trained dramatic actor. From what I can gather, it seems that he got his start in the theater. It seems that he got his passion through the theater performing. Classic. So in hindsight, it makes sense and it starts to add up. You see the similarities in their career paths. Liam Neeson tends to star in the geezer teaser action movies, old men going after revenge. That seems to be what he gravitates towards. He'll do his odd movie here and there, but generally it's those straight to red box type of deal. And that's very similar to Leslie Nielsen, who began being typecast as kind of a distinguished elderly man. Now, with creative people behind the movie and a performer like Liam Neeson who can dedicate himself to the role, I think we have a good shot at getting something that demonstrates a real love for the material and also is funny in its own right. Now, it's also important to point out the differences in movie landscapes where stuff is at right now. What people wanted in 1988 is different than what people want in 2023. Even in 1988, Police Squad and Naked Gun were all pretty dated in terms of what they were parodying. They're poking fun at a very specific type of noir thriller that was already like 40 years old at that point. The types of movies that get butts in seats are different from what got butts in seats in 1988 though. So I think that it's an important thing to note. The stuff is generally schlockier, more action-oriented, non-stop thrill rides. And Liam Neeson stars in 3 of these movies a year. So if they're gonna try to reboot The Naked Gun and take the piss out of the movies that are popular now, why not get the guy that stars in the movies? Now I think you can kind of start to put together why I think the casting is good, at least. I think with Liam Neeson, you'll have somebody similar to Leslie Nielsen. Is just gonna take the role seriously. They're gonna take it earnestly.
That's the,
It's just a prop. We use it in airplane, and I have so much fun with it, so I just carry it around with me. You know?
yeah, okay. That's...
They're gonna give a legitimate performance, which will make it funnier. Yeah, it all comes down to whether or not they point out what they're joking about, right? Because that's what makes it not funny. It doesn't now. Just because we have a lead that we're confident in is not a surefire sign it's going to be a hit, because it isn't all on the lead. Part of it is the filmmakers executing it with the same sincerity. It's shaping up to be Lonely Island, Seth MacFarlane co-production. Liam Neeson is actually in Seth MacFarlane's Western parody. Not a very good movie, but Liam Neeson's the best part of that movie because he's just playing it straight. Some of the writers are from Family Guy or American Dad. Akiva Schaffer, I think his name is. He's the guy that's directing it right now, and he's one of the Lonely Island guys. Now, besides my disinterest in the Lonely Island or the Family Guy stuff, I think that it is not a bad sign. I think that's a pretty good sign, because they all seem to share similar sentiment and they all seem to respect the material. So I don't think they're gonna pull it off in like a let's just get this out the door and make a couple bucks. You know, I think they're gonna execute it with sincerity. Initially, I personally would have chosen somebody different to direct it. Perhaps the David Wayne Showalter deal, Wet Hot American Summer. Very in that essence of absurdist, wacky, anything for a gag.
I went to camp so long ago that fucking Jesus Christ was my counselor. And my best friend hadn't fully evolved yet. His name was Ugg, and he walked on all 4s.
The gal came back from her honeymoon. She was alone, and her parents welcomed her with open arms. And they said to her, Delilah, hat gut gemacht.
You could even go with somebody more recent, like Eric Appel, who made the Weird Al movie, who also very, very funny, very wacky, very absurd. But Akiva Schaffer has a film called Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping, in his filmography. It is a very, very funny movie.
Yeah, my name is Zippy. I'm the guitar tech on the tour. Yet. I make sure all the instruments are tip-top. I love the road. You know, this is kind of a perfect job for me, but my favorite free time thing is flatlining.
Heart rate dropping.
Flatlining is when you technically lower your heart rate until, well, you're dead.
Still dropping.
Then you can catch a glimpse of the afterlife. Got the idea from the film Flatliners, Joel Schumacher film shot by Jan de Bont. You know, I try to fit in a F-line sesh at least once a week.
I guess you would call it a faux documentary, a mockumentary about a Justin Bieber-esque pop star. Very, very funny movie, and it has the same deal where it's an ultra-thin plot just to hang all sorts of gags on. It's not focused on telling a deep story with tons of themes. It's just saying, we're gonna have a lot of fun and tell goofball jokes.
He crazy for real. I seen him backstage. He wasn't smoking the blunt, he was just eating it.
Liam Neeson in the lead, it seems like they're going for, we're gonna have a bunch of fun and tell goofball jokes and just have a super thin story.
I can't see anything.
Use your open eye, Frank.
Oh, yeah, I can see it now.
I think that is probably the best case scenario. But it ultimately does come down to how genuinely the people take it. Like, if we have a great lead performance, but the filmmakers are trying to make a screwball comedy, then then it's not gonna mesh together, you know? So it comes down to genuineness from all the people involved, and I think we have a genuinely good shot at getting a good Naked Gun reboot. Now, yeah, I'm gonna check out the movie. I'm definitely going to check out this movie. I'd be happy to see it. I'd be even happier if it turned out to be good. I suppose we'll have to wait to see. I give my condolences to the filmmakers. Make the Naked Gun reboot. Naked Gun. How about we call it? How about this? Police Squad. Police Squad. The Taken Gun.